Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. We have a beautiful Sunday, the 23rd of July. And by the way, for the sake of the count, it's almost 16 days to the general election and 2 days to the big presidential debate. After the presidential debate, the mood for Kenyans to go to the ballot will be there. And of course, Kenyans will just be waiting to go to the ballot. Now, am I the only one that is realizing that specifically Rigathi Gachagua has a problem with the men in uniform? Because I have listened to his latest statements recently when they were in Kiambu. He's the person that took the mic and spoke about how the ICT minister, cabinet secretary, Joe Musheru, was using the chiefs to recruit Kenyans so that at least 30 Kenyans perhaps a day, so that they could be used to send messages to campaign for Raila Odinga. And that was captured live, and I think I analyzed it here. But I have seen that even today, he has also made another attack on the men of uniform, or rather, the chiefs. It is not coincidental, because I remember some time back also Malala made a blunder saying that polisi kazani kubeba bunduki, but after that the campaign was again moved. There was another manifesto on changing the police uniform from blue to the other one because the blue belonged to some church group. Then from there, during the deputy president's debate with Martha Karua, he also made another statement that because the chiefs do not know the figures, the chiefs did not report what exactly on the case of the corruption that was facing him. And this makes me ask a very important question. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua, is it coincidental that he's the one politician single-handedly goes after the men in uniform? Despite the fact that because of him being a running mate, he is really well protected, because for the sake of this election. Deputy President, I think, dropped the attack on the men on uniform, probably because of very important reasons. He is being protected, one of the second most protected man in this country, with a lot of trappings of security privileges and properties. And I think because of last experience when his security was sized down, this will be a very critical moment for him, and he will not want to antagonize the men in uniform. But Rigathi Gachagua, despite of being a politician that served as a DO, and DO was in charge of chiefs, and so he understands the provincial administration ranks, the operation, the way the system works. And instead of being really having a friendly look to them, single-handedly, he has turned to be against them. And to a chief that is watching this, today I was in Dagoretti, and I spoke to some few people, and we were just talking about this, and we were like, asking how are the chiefs relating to Gachagua's attacks on them? Because Gachagua seems to be so much angry with the men in uniform, while we understand, according to the operations, that the chiefs are actually under the provincial administration, the traditional provincial administration. Initially, during the days of Moi will receive briefings of things that are happening on the community level from the chiefs. But I think in the new constitutional dispensation, they are under the Ministry of Interior, which is under Matiang'i. So Matiang'i has been meeting them. There have been also the recent meetings by PS Kibichu, by the chiefs in different parts of central Kenya. But in speaking in Narok, he seems to have taken the fight that instead of telling Kenyans to vote for him, I want to tell you, guys, I want us to get to that snippet. before
tunataka kuona machifu wetu. Nyinyi machifu mfanye kazi yenu. Kazi ya kupiga kura hapana kazi yenu. Wewe chifu ukitaka kuambia mtu apige kura, wewe uambie bibi yako. Lakini hapana ambia raia. Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana? Sasa, simuliona nilikuwa na mjadala na yule dada yetu. Mliona mjadala? Si alisimama hapo? Na mimi nikasimama hapo. Dakika 90. Sasa kutakuwa na debate ya yule mzee na huyu William Ruto. Nani atashinda? Nani atashinda? Sasa yule mzee ameanza kuleta Kiswahili. Ameanza kusema ati hiyo debate ati wasisimame ati wakae chini. Mnaweza kubali? Si wasimame. Kwa sababu tunataka hiyo mzee asimame lisaa moja unusu. Na William Ruto asimame lisaa moja unusu, tuone ni nani anaweza kuongoza Kenya. Si ndio? So tunamwambia kiongozi wetu William Ruto, hiyo mjadala kama hamtaongea mmesimama ni ya kukaa chini, usiende kwa hiyo mjadala. Na kama
now, listening to that statement, I see a politician that is gender insensitive. Because as much as it might be an attack, or rather to try to demystify the project, or rather the roles of the chiefs, the special roles that allegedly they're playing in this election, I don't think it should actually escalate to family. There was no essence of saying go and tell your wives, because at the end of the day, the wives are also members of the community. Wives are members of the community. And also, they live in the society with people. So, how many people are feeling antagonized by Rigathi Gachagua's inroads? And remember, there are many of them that had worked with Rigathi Gachagua. I want to humbly request to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell and like our video. I want to say thank you for people who are supporting our videos. Just by this evening, I was speaking to one of our subscribers, Sarah, who I said was sick. She's working on a pay bill. We'll share the pay bill here. And I'm just happy that from the first mention, yeah, she's been receiving calls. Of course, probably tomorrow she will brief me on the progress. The target is 1.5 million medical bill. The NHIF has covered bit, I think around to 600,000. And there is also some 200,000 that we had already sorted out with a few of us here. So we are working with a budget, I think 900,000, and we believe that God is going to work miracles. Now, guys, I want us to look at this issue in details, because I see someone who is very bitter with the chiefs. Could it be a possibility that Rigathi Gachagua tried to use his networks within that system to beat the system, but those efforts backfired? So he's just a hungry man, because maybe there was some political interest that could best be served by these men in uniform, but these people are not dancing to his tune, because of course he was a chief some time back. He was a DO some time back. He also brags to have worked with PS President Uhuru Kenyatta. But once, as a man in uniform, he belongs to one of them. And I can say that a chief, a DO, a provincial administrator somewhere, like in Lusaka was a PC somewhere, they will always try to reserve and keep off the name of the system. Wajakoya worked as an head of intelligence during the death, probing the death of Oduor. Despite the fact that things became so thick that he had to fly out of the country. When he came back, and more than 20 years he's back on ballot as a presidential candidate, you will not see him going after the men in uniform, because you belong to one of them. And one of the risks I see that Kenya Kwanza needs to be very cognizant of is that even the men in uniform are Kenyans, and they are also part of the Kenyan voter. And they also have families. They also have friends. This is something that, to me, I think should worry the team. And of course, it might be seen as an attack on the chiefs, but it can escalate a holistic approach to civil servants. So government civil servants might see Kenya Kwanza as, or rather might see Rigathi Gachagua, people who might then come in and fire them. Like these chiefs you're now telling, go and tell your wives, they might see the Kenya Kwanza team as a team that ikiingia kwa power is going to fire them because they did not dance to their tune. That antagonism, to me, is having a deeper meaning. Rigathi Gachagua's persistent approach, or rather persistent attacks and targeting the chiefs and these men in uniform, might be pointing out to a huge potential that they have in these polls. Because I listened to that statement about go and tell your wives, even though it might be seen as just an exaggeration of a statement, or someone just trying to express himself in anger, but that person is angry, probably it shows to Rigathi Gachagua knows what the chiefs can do, the kind of work they can do, because they know the mobilization. They are the people that gonna advise. They will advise the National Police Service on this area is XYZ, so maybe you need to beef up security, you need to do this, you need to do that. So their role in this election, Rigathi Gachagua knows their potential and what they can do, how they can help if there is sort of what is called manipulation. But how many people, and you know that Rigathi Gachagua has a personal venom against President Uhuru Kenyatta, and today I think I have come to realize that Rigathi Gachagua, the RG, doesn't support William Ruto on any principle, on the plan they're bragging about. He's only supporting Deputy President, and that's why he bulldozed his way to be the running mate, so that he can find a national platform to attack President Uhuru Kenyatta. He can find a big stake to send missiles to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I've always asked ourselves, is there a politician that knows that even after this election, Kenya will still exist? I just try to think so. Does he really know that really even after this election, Kenya will still exist? I think. And people should then embrace that, because he got to the national space with the running mate slot, not really to help Deputy President win, because I don't think he is helping, but to find a platform to talk to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And any other thing, any other political message must be framed as antagonist message against president. Look at his Facebook page. Look at the posts. I was just checking one. Let me just read for you one that I've just pointed out here. Having elections is a democratic right that our constitution allows us to have every 5 years, and it's not subject to the whims of state operators who try to influence their choice candidates to Kenyans. We will not succumb to intimidation and scare tactics by our opponents who think they can get a chance to bend the will of the people. And then he found a candidate, a very angry candidate called Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, and he decided to fit the bill. I also see this is coming because of Kibicho's inroads in central Kenya with the chiefs. Karanja Kibicho has been meeting the chiefs in different counties in central Kenya, and I think it is from this county engagement with the chiefs that maybe this information about coordinating the chiefs to campaign for Raila is coming through. But those meetings, I think it's just another way to create hostility. He wants to create hostility between the Kenyan voter and the chiefs. I don't know how that hostility can help, that hostility is going to help, but he wants to create a situation where even on election day, when the chiefs are trying to do something, the role that chiefs can play, they can find hostility, and that can really antagonize. And the reason I'm saying this should worry the campaign team is because the chiefs do not come from central Kenya. The chiefs are not only in central Kenya, the chiefs are in the rest of the country. Even chiefs in Rift Valley might not do the good work for Kenya Kwanza, being that the Kenya Kwanza, their stronghold is there. Ladies and gentlemen, That's my bold look on this, and I hope that I will be back. Sarah's number is 0716 357 360. Send a message, say hi, talk to her, encourage her, and also help us make that contribution. We're targeting 900,000. Yeah, and of course, I'm gonna give us the means of making that payment.